true crime magazines on there that are brilliant, and they have some great articles, and it's great for getting ideas for cases to do as well. So I have a few stacked up that I want to do in the future. But this particular one, it's a case that I am aware of. I've read about it before, but rather than me, I'm going to read the article to you. It's the Ken and Barbie killers, so it's Carla, Mulga and Paul Bernardo, I think, yeah. So this is just a little bit of a story from a magazine. Hopefully this is okay for you. It's just going to be me reading what is written here. I hope that it helps you to relax, and you can listen to the story as well, and if you haven't heard it before, it will hopefully make you aware of it. But yeah, I'm going to just start straight into it and read from my tablet over here. Okay, so the Ken and Barbie killers. When Carla Mulga fell for Paul Bernardo, it was an evil meeting of minds. At 17, Carla Mulga was an ordinary teenager, pretty and full of life. Those who knew her say she was impressionable, a girl with romantic fantasies of meeting a knight in shining armour, and when she met Paul Bernardo, the attraction was instantaneous and electrifying. She didn't know then that the man who had swept her off her feet was a serial rapist being hunted by the police, and he didn't know that she was seemingly as depraved as he was. Okay, so this article is being written, and they're kind of looking at it again because there has been a recent documentary that has gone up on Discovery Plus, which is amazing, by the way. I love Discovery Plus. So there's a documentary up there about the Ken and Barbie killers at the minute. So yeah, anyway. Instant Park. Mulga was born in May 1970 and spent a happy childhood growing up in Canada. Blonde and bubbly, she was a bright and popular girl with a deep love of animals. When she was 15, she began working in a veterinary clinic in the city of St. Catharines in Ontario, with the aim of becoming a vet herself. 2 years into the job, in the summer of 1987, she accompanied her work colleagues to a convention in Toronto. Slipping down to a hotel bar that first evening, she was thrilled to be experiencing big city life away from home. It was here that she met 23-year-old accountant Paul Bernardo. Unlike Mulga, his childhood was abusive. His father was charged with molesting a child, as well as his own daughter, and his mother became withdrawn as a result. But despite his upbringing, Bernardo seemed to make something of himself. Friends described him as good-looking and confident, the sort of man who commanded attention. Perhaps, though, there were hints that something wasn't quite right. In his school yearbook, his ambitions were listed as becoming rich and famous so that he could meet girls. Within 20 minutes of connecting in that bar, the pair were in bed together and were soon inseparable. When Bernardo acquired a video camera, he loved nothing more than to film his new girlfriend, but there was something sinister going on in their local neighbourhood. The area was being terrorised by a man dubbed as Scarborugh rapist. Between May 1987 and May 1990, over a dozen young women and girls were set upon, often being followed home after they had got off a local bus. Some managed to escape, but for those who did not, the attacks were brutal. After raping the women at knife point, he would go out of his way to degrade and hurt them further, sometimes inserting other objects such as sticks. In one case, he callously snapped a woman's arm by standing on it. He was an animal. He went for teenagers. Bernardo and Mulga had by now begun engaging in a mutually shared interest in sadomasochistic sex, but something deeper had been sparked between the pair, and Bernardo asking her to bring a virgin into their sex life. Rather than being outraged or disgusted, Homolka agreed to do as he asked, and chose her own younger sister Tammy as their first victim. Bernardo had confessed to being sexually attracted to 15-year-old Tammy, even masturbating in her room while she slept, and Homolka was determined to please him. In July 1990, after stealing Valium from the vet clinic, Homolka drugged her little sister. Homolka drugged her little sister's spaghetti. The pair waited until she was unconscious, and then Bernardo began raping her while his fiancée watched. But Tammy started to come around within a few minutes, and the pair stopped, leaving her none the wiser as to what had happened to her. They began hatching a plan to repeat the assault, which they carried out on the 23rd of December. After spending the evening socialising at a party in the Homolka home, they once again drugged Tammy. This time they wanted to make sure the girl did not wake, so they administered the tranquilizer Halcyon in her drink before using a cloth coated in anaesthetic halothane. The pair then raped her, taping the whole thing, but at some point an unconscious Tammy vomited and began to choke. Homolka and Bernardo calmly changed Tammy's clothes and placed her on the bed before calling emergency services. Bernardo even claimed he had tried to save her life with CPR, but Tammy was pronounced dead in hospital. Shockingly, her death was ruled as accidental, and the despicable pair had sealed their bond in blood. 6 months after Tammy's death, Homolka and Bernardo got married. Still eager to please her new husband, Homolka agreed to bring him another virgin, this time a 15-year-old girl she had befriended at work. On the 7th of June 1991, after inviting the girl, identified only as Jane Doe in later proceedings, out for the evening, they had dinner before Homolka gave her a drink laced with tranquilizers. When she was out cold, she called Bernardo. He used his video camera to film Homolka assaulting her before raping the girl. She survived the ordeal, waking up the next day with no recollection of the events, but their next victim would not get away alive. Just a week later, Bernardo came across 14-year-old Leslie Mahaffey after she had been locked out of her house in Burlington. Offering her a cigarette from his car, Bernardo snatched Leslie off the street, tied her up, and took her to the home he now shared with Homolka. There, the couple tortured and raped her while listening to music. They again filmed the whole thing. Leslie endured a horrifying ordeal, during which her blindfold slipped. Knowing they could be identified if they let her go, Homolka gave her a lethal dose of tranquilizer. They had crossed yet another line, committing a deliberate murder. To cover their tracks, they dismembered Leslie, poured concrete over her body parts, and dumped them in Lake Gibson. They were discovered by 2 men on a fishing trip a fortnight later. The pair claimed their final victim on the 16th of April 1992. This time they had gone out hunting for someone to snatch, and when they saw 15-year-old Kristen French walking home from school, they forced her into the car. Back at their home, they both raped her while forcing her to drink alcohol. Again, they filmed the whole thing, and the lack of blindfold indicated they had no intention of letting their captive live. The next day, Bernardo strangled Kristen to death, and then the pair went for a family Easter meal. Kristen's body was found 2 weeks later. Though the pair had now raped at least 4 girls together, and it was believed that there were more, killing 3 of them, Bernardo turned on Homolka in December 1992. He beat her up so badly she ended up in hospital, and while she at first said she'd been in an accident, she later attested she had been the victim of a domestic assault. It was this beating that allowed Homolka to get away with her crimes. The police were finally closing in on the Scarborugh rapist, and after 2 tip-offs, their investigation led them to Bernardo. His DNA was taken, and in February 1993, he was arrested. Now Homolka turned on him, alleging he had forced her to join in his depravity. As evidence that she was a victim, the pictures of her battered face were produced. There was only one thing that could have shown her to be a liar: the tapes they had recorded. But Bernardo's lawyer had taken them from the house before the police searched it. So, needing her testimony to secure a conviction, she was offered a plea deal, become a witness against her husband in exchange for a lenient sentence. It was only after her protection was in place that the incriminating tapes came to light. They were deemed so harrowing only the audio could be played in court, and the country was horrified when they realised Homolka had actively participated in the assaults and killings, but it was too late to change her deal. Bernardo was given life in September 1995, convicted of 2 counts, each of rape and murder, as well as numerous other charges. Homolka was given 12 years, eligible for parole in 3. The press dubbed it a deal with the devil, calling them Barbie and Ken, perfect couple, perfect murderers. Homolka was released in 2005. Although she did marry and have children, last reports of her whereabouts said she was living alone in Quebec. Bernardo was denied parole in June 2021. Hallelujah. And although Bernardo was diagnosed psychopathic, it was never known why Homolka did what she did. As one psychiatrist put it, despite her ability to present herself very well, there is a moral